5 male Irish step dancers. And then we have a live band. So it's a whole show. It's a whole spectacular that we have going on. And it's about a, give or take, maybe hour 40 long show.
Yeah.
That covers all Irish music. And then we have a little bit of a foray into some other styles, some American folk and bluegrass and stuff like that.
So how
it's going to be exciting.
How has COVID and the worldwide pandemic affected you guys touring and traveling?
Well, it affected us fairly significantly because when COVID hit, we have some changes in the cast because some of the original cast had to go back to Ireland. And then Ireland locked down also at the same time as America. But America went a little bit quicker than Ireland did. So some of the cast were over in Ireland.
Oh, we lost her. Okay, let me see if I can reconnect here and get her back in here. And we will see what happens here. There we are. We lost you, my friend. We lost you. Okay, go ahead and finish what you were saying there, my friend.
I was saying that so COVID affected the tour basically because we had to do some recasting and rejigging of it so that we were able to go back out onto the road. Last year we only did 3 dates in March, and then this year now we did our full Christmas run, and now we only have 9 shows of our spring tour left now. So we're back, and theater is back, and audiences are back, and it's fabulous to see.
That's awesome. So Dan, do you have any questions for our Celtic Angels here, my friend Dan? Dan, do you have any questions?
Thank you for allowing me to listen. She doesn't know this, but the first book that I wrote as an author was a children's book, and it's called Peter, the Little Irish Seal. And it's a story about selkies.
Oh, very good.
On an island in islands around the country of Ireland, special kind of seal that can shed their skin and become human. And it's a story about the relationship between Peter and his mother, Mama Kim, as he's born and begins to grow and understands what it means to be a selkie, but also what it means to be a seal. Illustrations are just phenomenal. And my youngest grandson is named Peter Ronan Perkins. His mother is pure Irish, and Ronan, you may know, is Gaelic for Little Irish Seal. And so that was, and Ireland is actually, I think I've been to Europe many times, but I've been to Ireland probably more than any other. And it's my favorite place to go play golf and to tour and see the sights. It's just a lovely country. So are you performing just in Ireland, or are you performing outside of Ireland?
No, we're actually in the States at the moment. So we are performing exclusively in the United States right now.
That's awesome. That's fantastic.
And then will you go back and have a tour in Ireland?
No, we'll go back, and we have a lot of the Irish nationals are actually currently living in the States. So they will go back and they'll pick up for summer festivals and whatnot. And then I myself am going on a tour of Europe just to have a vacation because I need one.
Okay. And then will you bring the group together back in the fall?
Yes. So we get back in the fall to rehearse, and then we go out on our winter tour, and then we have about 6 weeks break, and we continue on a spring tour again. So it's a nice little circle that we have going.
And how are the audience reacting to your show?
So far, extremely positively, which is a really, really nice thing. I think people have been so deprived for the last little while of actual tangible entertainment that they can be completely involved with and present with. So having that little escape for an hour and a half, 2 hours has been phenomenally accepted, and it's great to see. And it really does the heart and the body good to have audiences.
There have been a number of shows. There were the Irish tenors, and then there was the women's singing group of Irish and fiddlers and other players, and then there was I can't think of his name, the Lord of the Dance.
Michael Flatley.
Michael Flatley.
Is he still dancing?
He just celebrated 25 years of Riverdance, actually, in London. I think it was yesterday.
Wow. So whose idea was to come up with your show?
Well, we have producers back in Ireland that they were touring with a different company, and they got together with producers over here, CMI Entertainment, that are based in Florida, and they kind of put their heads together and decided to go on the road with the talent that they had at their fingertips, and it just kind of expanded from there. So our current lineup is, I think, the best one we've had so far, and we're filled with talent, or a very Irish saying, we're alive with talent in this production.
And so when somebody joins your show, do they join for a season, or do they have a longer term contract? How do they do that?
Yeah, generally they would have a longer term contract. So if they join for, say they're joining for the Christmas tour, they'll join us for the spring tour also.
I see.
So we become quite a family. We have one guy who's been with us for 13 seasons. So
wow.
Yeah, so it becomes a very close knit little family, and we always enjoy having our talent, move on and do other things, but we always like to have them back.
How many in your cast and crew?
18.
It's quite an entourage to move.
It is, and it's becoming increasingly difficult in Wisconsin with the weather.
So,
but we're getting through. Oh, and 1 second. They're actually rehearsing above me. I am in a theater at the moment, and my Celtic Knights are rehearsing right over my head.
I can hear them. That is fantastic.
So, what makes your show different?
We are kind of a 4D. I like to kind of describe it like that. That we have, we have our singers, we have our dancers, we have our live band. Everything is fully live, which is also quite different to a lot of the touring shows. And then we have projections, and we have storytelling. It's a very, as I say, it's a very 4D experience. And, I'm from Dublin, and I am not shy in making people participate.
That's awesome.
Jim, I've got a wonderful personal story about Dublin. My wife and I were there, and we actually did a grand tour ourselves, and we drove all the way down through the southern part of Ireland, around the Ring of Kerry, and then came back up. And we flew into Shannon and went south. Then we went east, and then up north, up into Dublin. And it rained a lot of the time, which it does in Ireland. And we were staying at the Royal Shelburne in Dublin, and we checked. And I said to the concierge, "So what's the weather forecast for tomorrow?" And he said, "Dry, just dry." It was wonderful. It's a beautiful town. Although one of the reasons why I wrote the book is because my son and daughter-in-law, after they got married, she still has a lot of family in Dublin, and they went back every year for a number of years to Dublin, and they would stay with her aunts and uncles and cousins. and they would come back, and she would tell me about what her relatives were saying about what was happening to the country. And because Ireland is a member of the European Union, the number of Persian immigrants coming into the country are really trying to take over the country and change the culture and the history, and to make it more Muslim. And they were very disappointed. And I wrote the book because I wanted to be able to preserve some part of Celtic history for future generations. You're from Dublin. Have you seen any of that my daughter-in-law was?
No, I wouldn't fully agree with that. I feel like we've become a melting pot for sure, where we've had an awful lot of changes in the influxes of various cultures. But I don't think anybody's trying to take over.
Okay.
I would feel
That's
that
awesome.
we've become a multicultural, multi-ethnic city, which is incredible to me. To have somebody, I was only talking about this the other day, just in the most linear sense of Irish dance, that we have world champion Irish dancers from Mexico. We have world champion Irish dancers from Africa.
That's awesome.
So incredible to see that, and to have my culture, my tiny island, extend globally and to be embraced globally. It's such a wonderful thing, I think.
What do you think is the appeal of the Irish dance and music?
I think, there is, I'm trying to think of the correct words. It all kind of stems from rhythm, and from a rhythm that's so ingrained in people's souls that it's almost like a heartbeat. And it transcends just one song or one style, and it kind of travels throughout. Like, we have a basis, as do a lot of dance styles, in African rhythm, in Adirondack rhythm, in Quebecois rhythm. In all of these different styles of music, you will find that something you will listen to will have a little Irish feel or vein in it. And I think that's what it is. It just kind of, it sounds and feels like...
Oh,
lost her, Jim.
We lost her because of the. I think they're dealing with a lot of snow out there.
I keep losing you.
No. You're good. Pick up where you left off, my friend. It's a great story. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying, I feel like it feels like it's part of you. So when you hear something, it kind of awakens something in the senses that you can tap your toes to it and you can hum to it and feel like you know the song before you actually even do, which I think is great.
How long is your show?
We're about an hour and 40.
With an intermission?
We have an intermission, so 2 hours with the intermission.
Okay.
Wow.
And how long are you staying in how long are you going to be in Wisconsin?
So we've just done 3 other dates. So we were in... Wisconsin names are very difficult to pronounce, so please... please forgive me if I make a mistake.
No.
So we were in Wausau, and then we were in Milwaukee, which I can pronounce.
Look at that.
Then we were in Menominee, I think is the name of it. And then tonight we are in Manitowoc, which is it's more northern Wisconsin.
Yes.
And then from here we travel down towards Iowa to Kansas and then Texas, and we finish in Georgia.
That's great. That's great.
Yes. Yeah, so we've traveled. We started off in Florida, and we went up the East Coast and then across the Midwest, and now we're going down south. So it's very exciting. Where did you
start in Florida?
We are based in Tampa. So
okay.
we have a rehearsal studio in the Ruth Eckert Hall, which is fantastic. They very kindly gift us this, the Murray Theatre to rehearse in. So we spend about 5 days down there. And then we take in Florida for a couple of our preview shows and our dates. And then we move from there.
So did you rehearse in Florida or London or Dublin? Or
we rehearse in Florida. We actually rehearse virtually first. which is another thing from the pandemic, which is fabulous. Because it means we can be wherever we are in the world at whatever
Yep.
time
Yep.
and still get to rehearse, you know?
And you said you had one person in your cast that had been 13 seasons?
Yes, we do. We've had him. He's been with us, basically, yeah, for 13 seasons. My running joke is that it's unlucky for some that he's with us, but lucky for everybody else. So 13 seasons.
How do you get your talent?
Auditions. We would audition, and then also because of, the Irish world, Irish arts world is quite a small one. That and it's such a community that there's an awful lot of people that would be happy to recommend artists, dancers, singers. So if somebody is recommended to us, we'll meet them, and we kind of take it from there.
Do you do auditions virtually?
Yes, at the moment we have done them. That's kind of, again, the changing world of auditioning nowadays is self-tape.
How have you found the American audience?
Oh, amazing. They're always so responsive and so receptive, and again, especially in the Midwest, so kind, just genuinely kind people, and it's been really, really fabulous.
That's awesome. So as we wrap up here with you, my friend, how do people get in touch with you online and see your shows and everything?
Yeah. Well, we have, you can check out our tour dates on CelticAngels.net, and you can see there's some pictures and some dates, and also you can follow us on social media at Celtic Angels Show on Instagram, or CMI Presents Celtic Angels on Facebook. And if you just pop in the Celtic Angels, you'll see our faces will pop up. You can see and read about us there.